It's time. We are live, and it's Sunday.
Good afternoon. How you guys doing?
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday fun day.
My favoritist day of the week.
Your favoritist?
Favoritist.
Is that a word?
It is now.
Okay.
It's been my favoritist day of the week since I worked at the post office.
Woo. Woo. Reverb.
So because that was my only day off. So it was my favorite day of the week.
Yeah.
Now it's my favorite day of the week because we get to go to church and we get to talk to y'all.
Yeah.
So, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. So
anyway, and we're early today.
We are early today, and we'll explain that because we want to go to an event in Murfreesboro tonight at 6:00. So
yeah, there's a Christian concert going on. And we decided we wanted to attend this because I don't know if anybody's ever been to any of the Christian concerts, but they are phenomenal. And the energy there is just so uplifting. And sometimes there's so much going on. Well, oftentimes there's so much going on in this crazy world that you need to get some fresh stuff pumped in, some good spirits, and
you need to
I'm
fill
excited.
your cup until your cup runneth over, then refill it.
Yeah, because it's constantly draining you, so you got to keep filling it. That's why I listen to tons of sermons throughout the week, and I'm always jamming my Christian music. It just keeps me going.
Engaged.
Yes.
Stay engaged.
So that's why we are doing this early so that we are able to attend. I thank you guys for understanding that because we need refreshing just like y'all need refreshing. So we're super excited to be able to go to it.
Yeah, so we've heard a lot about this church. In fact, my stepmother watches this pastor of this church. And so we want to go check it out for that reason because we've heard so many good things about it. And also locally, it's a big church and we hear things about it.
Yeah, so, it's a little bit of a drive, about an hour?
45 minutes, maybe to an hour.
It's well worth it. I mean, even when we lived down in Otter Creek, I didn't mind driving over an hour to go to church on Sundays when we were able to.
And some people may know this church better than we do. There may even be some locals here that go to it.
Yeah, it's the World Outreach.
Outreach
with Pastor Alan Jackson, not the singer,
not the country singer.
It's a pastor.
Close though. He's near Nashville.
Yeah. He does podcasts and TV shows, so a lot of people know him throughout that. And they just have phenomenal programs at this church. So we've heard a lot about it. Want to check them out. And they have this group called Stickyard, which is a big drumming group. So it should be phenomenal.
I bet they're going to do the little drummer boy.
I bet so. And if y'all ever been in one of the programs when they're doing drumming, that's just amazing.
It's a competitive thing. They'll have a drummer come out like from the corners of the stage and they'll start drumming. And you won't see the other drummer usually when they do it. And then you'll hear the other drummer take over. And then it's just kind of then they start to kind of work together, but they're taking turns trying to outdrum the other one. And it's this big thing and everybody gets excited.
Have you ever seen the Blue Man Group?
No.
They do a phenomenal show too with drumming. I saw them in Orlando many years ago and it was a really cool show. That's another one I recommend to people. Very high energy, very entertaining.
And this church, apparently, if you look at their website, they have so many different groups going on. They have all kinds of stuff. They have, they even have an ice skating rink. So tonight they're promoting the Christmas celebration theme with free cocoa and ice skating. So will you get on skates tonight?
No, I'm going to be at the concert.
Well, it's at the concert.
Well, I think there are two different activities, though.
Yeah, but
you just want to see me bust my buns.
It's been a long time since I've been on ice skates.
It's been a very long time. The last time I ice skated actually was in Ocala. When I first moved there, they used to do an ice skating rink in the town square, and it was very uneven. Obviously, there was no Zamboni making it all nice. And I busted my butt so many times. I went home black and blue, but I was out there with the kids just having a field day. But, you know, when you're older, it's a little hard to bounce back. So
yeah, you don't bounce off of that ice.
It was not pleasant.
You hit it and you stay there for a minute.
I had some major bruises, but the kids loved it and we had a ball, but I don't think I could do it now. So we'll just pass on that one.
Yeah.
I'll drink some hot cocoa. How about that?
Yeah. So this week we've had some doctor appointments. I had to go back and do a follow up to hear about my MRI on my left shoulder, and apparently I have a tendon that's got at least a 30% tear, and two others that have at least a 10% tear.
Yeah, it was not the good news we were hoping for.
Yeah, it's not really going to probably fix itself. So I did right after that appointment, I went by my old therapy doctor too, because we were driving by him. And I went in there and tapped him on the shoulder because he's like in charge of the place too. And I asked him, I said, is what I'm doing based on this information, am I still doing the right things, or am I causing more damage? He's like, oh no, strength training is what you want to do. Just don't overdo it. So what we did is we had a little investment and went for a drive yesterday. And I know I'm mixing two stories here.
You are bouncing all over like ADHD gone out of control.
So anyway.
So what that means, before he jumps into another subject.
Okay, go ahead.
What that means is he is being referred to
orthopedic.
I almost said pediatric.
I think orthopedic specialist.
Orthopedic specialist, because he's going to have to be evaluated by the specialist. Mm-hmm. They're going to put him back into physical therapy, mm-hmm. and they'll probably reevaluate in 4 to 6 weeks after that to see if that's helping enough, or if he's going to have surgery. But being that it's the holiday time and will also be on the road at this time, he probably won't even get in to see that doctor until sometime in January. So it's probably going to be early March, maybe late February, before he finds out whether or not he'll need surgery.
Which is why I wanted to talk to the therapist. Given the new information on the MRI results, I wanted to know what it is I should be doing or not doing.
Yeah, because that's a long time just to be left to your own devices.
I can start. I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait until January. Well, I can do some on my own.
Not just that, but you won't be doing the wrong things to further your tears, which I'm sure has happened over time.
And that's what I was asking about mostly. Yeah.
So that's the thing that kind of stinks sometimes, is it takes so long to get in to see the different doctors. You could be doing yourself so much more damage.
That happened at the post office with you, didn't it? Because by the time they got around to it, the damages.
That happens to most. It happened with my son too, when he got rear-ended. By the time, you usually have to fight to get your different treatments or surgeries, and by the time you get in there, it's healed wrong. Mm-hmm. So you can have even more problems because of that, and that really stinks.
Right.
But that is the end of that story before we flip into a new subject. So looking into January, when we come back to Tennessee, it looks like we'll be quite busy with physical therapy, because that's usually 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to do a lot of local trips, which there's tons to do in Tennessee.
So when I say local, I don't mean just where we live. I mean, we can go on weekends. You got 3 days there to get back. So you can go to Memphis. We can go to Kentucky.
Yeah, there's still plenty to do close, where we could have smaller adventures for the couple of months that he'll be doing those things. Mm-hmm. So it'll all work out. And
there's cave diving we want to do up in Kentucky, and Tennessee has some too. We want to do Noah's Ark Encounters.
There's so much.
The Corvette Museum. There's still local stuff we haven't touched yet.
Tons of it. So it's all good. Mm-hmm. But
it's all good in the hood.
at least you'll know what you can and can't do.
Yep.
So
I mean, I feel good. It doesn't hurt. And I was like, is it going to get worse if we do nothing? And he's like, yes. Like 10 years from now, you're going to start feeling pain in this shoulder just sitting.
Not even 10 years.
And then you're not going to be able to move it. It's going to hurt to move it. And now it's too late.
It's going to be like an arm just hanging there, painfully hanging there.
Definitely don't want that.
So, I mean, I would think even if you're older, you wouldn't want that.
So I guess this is an injury we need to get ahead of instead of waiting for it to come to us.
Right.
So I really don't know how I damaged it, to be honest with you. I think I just slept on it wrong. Now, this is my good shoulder, but I think I just slept on it like this, because I only remember hurting it once. And when I woke up, it was killing me, and took me like 20 minutes to get my arm down. I don't remember lifting anything. I don't remember bending over. I don't remember doing anything, any one thing to tear it. I don't.
We did a lot of stuff when we were expanding the campground, a lot of heavy lifting and things, and those things could have started at that time. They could have been very small tears, and then when you did other stuff, it but it's really hard to guess what it could have been.
And that's what it would be.
So, and that's what you're doing is guessing. But I know we were doing a lot of heavy work at the campground getting it expanded. So I would not be surprised if that's where that started. But
could be.
It doesn't really matter. It's there. So, now you just got to deal with it. So now I'll allow you to go on to your next segment.
All right. So because of the recent extreme cold weather, we found ourselves not really wanting to get up and out. I think
like hibernating bears.
I think is normal, but it's bad for your diet. It's bad for your health too. So it kind of makes you lethargic and lazy and not feel like it. You just got to get up and do it. And the gym, we love the gym. We love the gym at the Arnold Air Force Base, but it is about 25 minutes to get there. So that's an hour on the road there and back, and then you spend 2 hours there. So there can be some time involved. So we like to maybe break that up with a home gym. So what we did is I looked for, when you go to the gym, it's always free weights or the machine weights, but they don't have much in terms of elastic weights or resistance. So what we were looking for was like a home gym. Not a big thing, but something that you can use, something I can use, something that's friendly, something that's not super heavy. And so we decided to go with the, what's it called?
Bowflex.
Help me out. Bowflex. So it's the Bowflex
Exceed?
Exceed, yes. So there's different variations of it. It's the basic Exceed. I watched a few videos, like some of you do.
On YouTube?
On YouTube. And I got different opinions, but they all seem to, I found a guy that I kind of trusted in what he was saying because it made sense to me. He compared different ones and different levels of them because if you go to the store and buy this brand new, it's $1,000. You can find them on Marketplace, gently used, and that's what we did. We found some that were damaged. There's actually quite a few of them for sale this time of year. And I found one for $275. Nothing wrong with it. There's not scratches on it. There's no dents on it. There's not a torn seat.
It's in excellent condition.
We found some in the $300 range that were probably a little closer to us, but they were damaged.
And they were worse shape, higher price.
Yep. So I like the how I decided where to buy was this guy had it set up in a room and the room looked nice. So you might say, but it's about the equipment. It is, but it's about someone taking care of the equipment. It wasn't sitting outside rusting. It wasn't in a garage where it's dusty or gets ignored. It was in a home, in a room dedicated to it where he probably used it. So, and took care of it. So I based it on that. And that was our finding. So this gym was in Harvest, Alabama, near Huntsville. So we made a day of it. So we went down there and looked at it. We got it. We liked it. He helped us disassemble it because I didn't want to have to tow the trailer down there. So we just took the Jeep. But doing a little more research, finding out, how it's packed and how small
he swore it wasn't going
to
to fit in the Jeep. The gentleman we bought it from, he was surprised that we got it in the back of the Jeep.
But there were reports that people put them in Hondas. So I was like, it'll fit. So plus we had the rack too. So if it didn't fit inside, we were going to get it on the outside.
And that was another deal on Marketplace. Mm-hmm. And that guy, he was really cool too.
Really nice
Him
guy.
And his wife are selling everything and moving to Arizona. So
I said, what's got you going to Arizona? He said, Huntsville's getting too big. I said, I get it. Too many people.
Yeah. So it's just, I find it so fun. All the cool people we've met buying stuff on Marketplace.
Yeah. He was super nice.
Yeah. So we got a great deal with that. Mm-hmm. And then what else do we do that day?
Well, we went to,
then we went to Sam's Club.
Yeah. We went to Redstone Arsenal Army Base. I guess it's a base. It's not really in the name, but it's a small base. It's in Huntsville. It's one of those places if you're active duty in the Army that you're trying to get stationed because it's not a training post. So you're probably not going to get deployed. You're probably not going to go on a lot of training exercises, be away from home. It's kind of a chill base. But
I would imagine a lot of people would want to get to a chill base.
Yeah, it's not very big.
Not too much pressure.
Right.
What'd they have there?
Well, they had a winter festival there. It's called Winterville. So we went to check that out.
It was our pre-Otter Creek festival.
Yeah, it was a festival.
So we could get in the festival mood.
Yeah, so they had a snow blowing Christmas tree there.
That was so much fun. All
Yeah.
the little kids were under the snow
They
having
had
fun.
over 70 vendors.
A lot of cool vendors.
Yeah, and everybody was super nice.
They were.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one grumpy person that didn't like our camera.
Yeah,
but they just sat behind giving dirty looks and talking under their breath about the camera. So at least they weren't like Grinchy in your face.
Yeah.
So I think the Grinch just got into them that day, but everybody else was super nice.
Yeah, some of them even kind of got up if they were sitting down and spoke to the camera, and I let them speak, let them do their thing.
Yeah, I love when people do that and they're excited about the different things they're making.
It's a chance to for them to showcase what it is they're offering, they're selling, or whatever.
Right.
So it's free advertising.
One lady, she was making these soaps and she made ducky soaps, like the ducks in the Jeep where you duck everybody. She had little duck soap and she painted them and they were cute. She did really good work.
And one had a train. Was that the same one? With
same
the
lady, yeah. She was really creative and she loved doing it.
Yeah.
So that's the important part. Like if you find something you love and you can make money, it's not a job, right?
Yeah.
So it was super fun. It was really fun to see all the kids there, and they had
Santa Claus
there, and all the kids were like, "Oh, Santa's here!"
And what's the crime dog? Is that the crime dog that was in the fire truck too? He came out and then opened the door for Santa Claus. Ms. Claus came out.
Yeah.
Santa Claus came out, and then all the kids were flocking forward, and they gave out candy. It was really a good time.
It was such a preview for the Otter Creek, and we're like, "Oh, that's what this is going to be next weekend."
It's like, oh, we're getting overran by kids. Let's back out.
It was so cute. I love when the kids are so excited for the candy and for the toys. And
it was a good time. It was just an easy, chill time. And they had coffee and hot cocoa and stuff you could buy there. And not so many food vendors, though, we noticed. It was
they had very little
hot
food
dogs
vendors
and pretzels at a couple places, and that was it.
But you know what they were doing?
Arts and crafts mostly.
That most festivals I've been to, I don't think any festivals I've been to have had that. Not to say there's festivals out there that do this or don't do this,
right.
But each vendor was giving away something. So every hour or couple hours, they'd call a bunch of different names to win prizes from each of the vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really cool.
It was a free event, free parking, and it was on the base there, Redstone Arsenal. But they were allowing people off the base to come.
Yeah, it was open to the public.
It was open to the public.
A free event. So that was really cool. And Mr. and Mrs. Claus rode in on the fire truck, and that's extra special. So it was a lot of fun. And then I think that evening they were supposed to do a Christmas tree lighting, and then they had it on Sunday as well. So it was just nice to get to partake.
Yeah, look for that video later this week. And let's see, what else were we doing?
I was hoping I would win. They were giving away some popcorn. And I was like, please say my name. I need popcorn in my life, please. Or a box of fried pies. But I guess God was looking out for me, knowing I shouldn't be eating that stuff. So they did not call my name.
So while we were in Huntsville, now Huntsville's not really that far from us either. It's about the same as going to Murfreesboro. It's about 45 minutes just south. So in fact, like 15 minutes of that is just getting around the lake. Getting down on the south side of the lake because we're on the north side of the lake. So the rest of it is it's a rural road that takes you into Huntsville, but there's a lot there.
It's a beautiful drive.
It is, and downtown is pretty nice. They have a university there, so there's a lot of student population. There's the base population.
They had a nice RV park on the base, so we were thinking we're going to have to go take the RV one time and just go stay over there and enjoy the town for a couple of days.
Just so we can see more stuff. You need a couple of days down there instead of driving back and forth. We could just
look like a pretty big RV park on the base, so we'll have to do that one of these days.
Yeah. So. And let's see what else was going on. Oh yeah, we hit up the Sam's Club because we always try to do that because we're not that close to one.
We're trying to figure out how much stuff we could fit into our Jeep that day.
Yep.
So we're always looking for deals on stuff. We scoured Marketplace. We didn't find anything else to buy there. But inside Sam's Club, we found a Christmas gift for somebody.
Yeah.
And it was a TV that was on clearance for a really great price.
Yep. So
and
we picked that up for my stepmother.
I said, there is no way that thing is going to fit in the back of the Jeep with that Bowflex in there too.
So
he got it in there.
It's going to Florida with us with the e-bikes. It'll all fit in there. So this is for my stepmother in Florida. So when we get down there, they're getting ready to get Wi-Fi down there, broadband, 1 gig speed. So she'll need that because she has satellite internet and it's garbage.
Yeah, and they just keep jacking up the prices on that, giving you less channels.
And DirecTV bought out Dish, or Dish bought out DirecTV, one or the other. Anyway, it jacked up the prices, and she lost some channels, and she doesn't like it anymore. And I don't blame her. So I said, why don't you just go to internet TV? I mean, you got all these sticks you can use.
So she's got an old TV YouTube that wasn't smart. And it was funny because we were just talking to her on the phone before we went in there. And then, and I looked over at Brett and I'm like, oh, we should look and see if they have a TV here. We could get her a TV. And when we go down there, we could hook it all up for her. That would be so nice. And we go in there and there was the size that we were looking for in the brand we wanted to buy on clearance. And I'm like, okay, God, we are getting this TV for her. And he managed to get it into the Jeep. I don't know how, but he leveled up playing Tetris there, getting everything in.
So we even talked about, should we just buy it in Gainesville or should we get it here? I'm like, you don't know how long the sale is going to be. And the taxes in Alabama are going to be cheaper than Florida.
Not to mention, you don't know if Gainesville will have any by the time you get there.
Right. You don't know if they're going to have the same sale or not. So we had it. I said, I think we can get it in the Jeep with the bikes. I don't think it'll be a problem.
Well, it doesn't have to ride in the Jeep on the way down there. It only had to ride in the Jeep on the way home.
That's true. It could ride in the RV.
Yes.
So it's just a 50-inch, but it needed to be a smart TV. So she has an older one. It needs to be upgraded. But if you're not buying those big 80-inch TVs, they're really pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Your HDR and UHD TVs have gotten pretty
and you can even move them by yourself these days. Remember the old days when you had to call a few friends and they're like, oh, I'm busy. I can't help you because it's such a heavy, huge TV. You could never get people to move the TVs with you. I remember back when I was.
Do you remember the old projection TVs?
Oh, yeah.
They were a huge cabinet.
Huge. And they were awful to have to move. At least those sometimes had wheels, though, so you could wheel them. But some of the other big clunkers, I remember moving one when I was early adult, and the person I was moving it with, we were going upstairs and they weren't communicating with me, and the side of it dropped and I broke my toe on it. I was like, oh, that was so painful.
So she measured her cabinet. So we were talking about TVs anyway. And so we had a size in mind. She needed a 50-inch or smaller. So we were looking for, I was like, 50-inch is pretty common. They shouldn't be that expensive because they don't really jump up until you get up in the 75-inch, 60-inch range, somewhere up there. And then the newer TVs, as they come out, the other ones get cheaper. Anytime with technology, something newer comes out, a newer phone, a newer stereo, a newer this, that. The models that were just the newer ones that become the second newer ones, second generation, they become a lot cheaper. They're like half price. So this TV, it's a UHD, which is the second tier of picture quality. And then it goes up to OLED and QLED, and then it gets
that's too many alphabets for me.
It's 8K. People are buying these high definition, super high definition TVs and probably don't even have the Wi-Fi to support it. So they're not even taking advantage of it. But a 4K TV is more than your eyes are going to even be able to see the difference between a 4 and an 8. You're not going to be able to notice that. So unless the action figures, a football game, the guy's jumping out of the screen or something, but 3D. But
they have those.
No, but good quality TV was $199. They had $70 off. So I thought that was a deal and might as well buy it while we're there. In Alabama, the tax, I looked it up. The tax is 4%.
Yeah, I just like
here
being
it's 9.25%,
able.
and in Florida it's 7.5%.
I just like being able to
So
help
you might as
her
well buy
out
it here.
and be able to set it all up for her, so she doesn't have to worry about those things.
Right.
So I always feel it's important while you're in town to
She's one of those that's a little resistant to change.
be able to help do as much as you can with the people you know. So,
And she had a friend at the church that was talking to her about YouTube TV, and she went over there to check it out. And I was like, well, go back over there and check it out and ask these specific questions and see if you like it. Because when you have a TV that can go on the internet, the ways to view TV are limitless. Limitless.
limitless.
There's infinite numbers of ways to watch TV. And when you have that many choices, then you can find some low cost, even free. What I recommended, and I got her a Vizio TV because we like the Vizios. Now, I'm not saying they're the best TV. I'm saying that they come with free TV. So that has value. So you don't have to subscribe to anything to watch TV. We watch free TV.
Yeah, a lot of people have the Roku.
Yeah, Roku. You got so many options.
I think my sister has the Roku, and it's great.
So what you can do is you can shop. You can do Amazon Prime. You can do Roku. You can do Fire Stick. You can do YouTube TV, and there's so many others that I'm not even failing to mention. Those are just like the top 5 or so. But go out there and shop and do what's best for you. And some people live in a low internet, stream area, so they don't have as many options, on the Wi-Fi. You got to have good streaming capability. But with the internet system that they're fixing to get in December, we don't have an exact date, but she should be having it about the time we get there with the TV, if not shortly thereafter. And
thank you, Rufus. I really like how it came out too.
She'll be able to plug and play I think she'll be happy with it.
Oh, she will.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to be able to see her. I'm really excited today because we're getting closer to when we're going to be down to see everybody, family and friends. I know everybody's been asking, are you there yet? Are you there yet? And then I feel like a little kid, are we there yet? Are we there yet? So I'm getting super excited to see everybody. We got to pack. We got to do all this stuff. And, it's getting real.
Oh, I do know something earlier this week that happened and you got excited about.
What?
You put on your heavy jacket and you went outside in the dark and played in the snow.
Like a little kid.
We got snow in Tennessee, but it was only a trace amount of flurries. It didn't stick or anything.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I've never seen anything like that.
She's out in the driveway. We have a light that comes on dusk to dawn, so it's a very bright light and it casts down the driveway. So she's out in the driveway looking at the snow.
Twirling around like a little kid, like, oh, and they were just coming all in my face. I'm like, it's so beautiful. Yeah. And I'm talking to God and their flurries are hitting me in the face. And it was so much fun. But he was out there for like a minute. So I was cold. Now I'm going inside. He was not impressed.
I wasn't dressed for it.
He was not impressed like I was because he's seen it before and I haven't. So I know I was talking to Jason and he's like, did you get that on video? And I'm like, nope, I was out there by myself twirling around like a little child. And
it wasn't a heavy snow.
Brett went inside and left me out there like a little kid. And then I'd keep coming inside. And he's like, are you done yet? And I'm like, nope, going back out. And I'd twirl around some more and come back in for a minute. And then I'd go back out. It was just like being a little kid again. Yeah. So it was so much fun. I can't wait for more of that.
There'll be some more snow, I'm sure.
Whoop, whoop.
That wasn't much. I mean, it only snowed.
It was a lot to me.
It only snowed about an hour and then it stopped. And it had turned, by the time it hit the ground, it had turned to water. So it didn't do anything but fall from the sky.
I still had a blast. The only time I've seen snow flurries before that was way back in the day when I was visiting my dad in Georgia, and they were melting before they even hit the ground and there wasn't much of it. So it was like, oh yeah, that's cool. But it wasn't like as cool as what I just saw. So
yeah,
it's the little things, you got to enjoy them.
Little things. Yeah.
So I enjoyed playing around outside like a kid, talking to God and all that good stuff. So yeah, that was pretty much my first time seeing the snow flurries. I've seen like snow on the ground, like when we were in Alaska and there was some on the mountain still. And when I was in Germany, there was some on the top of a mountain still when we were up there and we were throwing it at each other, but there wasn't much left and it was, pretty much melted.
So you've never seen snow from the sky?
I've never seen snow falling from the sky. No.
Oh, yeah. And we got cold this week. We got down here at the house. We got down to 18.
And that's been an adjustment for me too, because I'm from Florida, y'all. And that's where I've been my whole life pretty much, except for a couple little spurts. So I am not used to any kind of cold. And I don't have cold weather gear, really.
And we're really in a little niche of Tennessee, as we understand it, that doesn't really get that much snow and doesn't really get that cold. Now, you can go just 2 hours north of here, you might get 3 to 4 inches routinely. But what I'm told here is they can get 3 or 4 inches of snow, but that's not normal. So it can get cold here, but it's not normal. So if it gets below 20, it's an anomaly. And so you just kind of hunker through it. And then the next day it's a little better. And the day after that, it's a little better.
I still got my
Like-
Florida clothes, which is like sweatpants
That was
and a
only
light
like-
hoodie. You
That
know,
was only like 4 days ago. And I think today it's 56.
yeah,
so
it's much nicer.
It's very short. It's a very short.
We'll be going to Florida, be like, oh, it's so hot down here.
70s will be like, oh.
Meanwhile, the people that live there are like, yeah, this is wonderful. It's wintertime.
Yes,
Woo!
yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be, but there's a few things I'd like to buy for if it gets really cold, like to have a face covering. Cause we tried one day to go out for a walk and it was so cold that my
was windy.
face
It
was
was windy,
hurting. Yeah,
yeah.
it was very windy and my face was just hurting because it was so cold. So I'm like, I need to get a face covering. So eventually I'll have to find one of those in my outings.
Is Jason in the chat today?
Yes.
He might know it. The military up there uses they call it a baklava. I don't know what they call it now, but it's it's a hat that rolls up and it's a stocking cap, but you can pull the inside of it out and pull it down.
Oh,
And it leaves
Well,
just a space right around here.
I need something like that. Okay.
And that's pretty good.
Because I hate being stuck indoors. So I want to
Yeah.
still be able to go for walks and stuff when it's cold. So I have to get one of those.
Yeah.
I know I was talking to my son this weekend. He's in Fargo. And
It's cold up there.
It's cold there, but he's from Florida and he's like, yeah, I'm walking around in my shorts and my t-shirt, got the flip-flops on. Everybody else is bundled up.
You
And
know
I'm
what
like,
this
there's
is?
something wrong with you, son.
This is a crystal ball. And my crystal ball tells me that his new girlfriend is from where?
Fargo.
I mean, where did she used to live?
I don't think she ever lived here.
Oh, I thought
She
you
likes
said-
to visit here.
Oh, she likes to visit. Okay, I'm mistaken. She likes to visit Nashville. So we're thinking, oh, girlfriend's going to have a tug. They're going to end up living in Tennessee. Watch.
Maybe if God has that
That
in
was
the
going to be my
plans.
crystal ball. I thought she was from
I definitely
Tennessee.
wouldn't mind being closer to him. It's
Yep.
been the farthest away I've ever been from him because he lived in Florida his whole life. And then all of a sudden,
He stayed with us at the campground. For
yeah,
a
right before
short
he
stint.
moved to Fargo, he was
Yep.
staying with us at the campground in the inner time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Couple
the
months,
farthest
maybe.
away I've ever lived from him. So he goes to Fargo. Like, how far can you go
Yeah.
away from mom?
There's a lot of towns I think I would have picked before Fargo. I think of cold blowing wind across a flat plain. That's what I
But
think
I'm
of.
just
That's
happy
ooh.
that he is happy, and that's what's most important. So if Fargo is where he's happy, then so be it. Because
Yeah.
that's all you really want for your children is that they're happy.
And they have good friends that aren't trying to live off of them, but they're
Right.
supportive in what they're trying to do. Yep.
So
I see the snowflakes.
snowflakes. Yep. So when are we going to be there yet? That's the dying question everybody would like to know, right?
We can let them know.
We are going to be there Thursday.
Thursday, the first full day.
And where are we staying?
We'll be leaving on Wednesday, but it'll be all day driving.
Yeah. So by the time we get there, it's be so late.
It's going to be late. Yeah.
So I should say Thursday because
So we'll be up Thursday and stretching in the nice, warm Bahama breeze of Shady Oaks Campground.
yep, we're gonna be staying at Shady Oaks
We
Campground. That's
always
gonna
said-
be so much fun.
We always said we wanted to be snowbirds in the campground. Here we
Right.
go. This is it.
Yep. So yeah. And we're gonna bring our e-bikes down there so we can
Yep.
e-bike around all over Otter Creek.
And we plan to visit Cedar Key while we're there too. So that'll be
Yep,
fun.
that's been part of the plan. I don't know what else we're doing while we're there. And we're going to say hi to all our friends. And of course, we're going to be at Christmas in the Creek and the festival.
And also note this on your calendar for those of you that like to follow the Otter Creek meetings. I know some of you do, some of you don't. We will be streaming the Otter Creek meeting live. Will we be doing the rest of them? Probably not.
But we'll be
But
there.
we're there.
So we figure we'll do it because I know a lot of people
Mhm,
like to watch it. And Travis stopped doing it.
mhm.
So just while we're there, we'll figure we might as well broadcast
And we'll
it for
try to
y'all.
do microphones. We're going to give
We'll give it a
Zim-
go.
We're going to give just Zim a microphone because he's the hardest one to hear.
Yeah.
And he does most of the talking. And you can hear Belinda okay. So if I give Zim a microphone, we might give him the Where around your neck kind.
Oh.
And then, he doesn't have to worry about it. And then when the
Yeah,
meeting's
again, the
over,
sound for that room is so extremely hard, but we'll do the best we can because I know
Yeah.
it's a challenge. But yeah, we'll broadcast that live for you guys on that Tuesday night following. I think
once
it's the
meeting
18th.
is over, I'll unplug him from the camera. The camera will still be rolling, but then it will transition from mic audio to just regular, and I'll keep it going so we always like to video the after talk of the meeting, the friends meeting friends and how you guys doing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who shows up to the meeting and who we can say hi to and
we
who I
plan
get
to
to
be there a
hug.
little early for that and stay a
And
little
to
late
see
for
my
that.
Beninja.
Your Beninja.
My Beninja. Love my Belinda. So I can't wait to see her and give her a big hug.
And we're not there to interject into the meeting or anything. We've been talking about.
Yeah, Melanie, exactly right.
Do we have any questions for the board? No, not really.
Nope.
We're
just there to observe.
We're spectators
and support.
We're spectators.
Observe and support.
Observe and support.
Say hi to everybody and share it with y'all.
Right now, it's the mayor's town, and if he makes it great, great. If he messes it up, then he messes it up. But it won't be anything that we did. So we're not there to judge. We're just there to watch and meet some of our friends that are there.
Yeah,
and that's
I
it.
just want to have fun.
Just want to have fun.
Therese just wants to have fun.
So we should be there Thursday. We plan on staying at the campground from the 11th to the 18th. And plans after that, we don't know. Right now, it's just a week, and then we'll go off to our next adventure.
We are flexible.
We're flexible. Now, could some of our friends encourage us to stay longer or to go somewhere else? Possibly.
We can do whatever. We're in an RV. We can stay longer.
And we like to keep our schedule open. See, we talked about South Padre Island, Texas, but if something else comes up in Florida that might divert our attention, then you're kind of locked in.
Right.
I like just being able to, I don't like all the appointment things. I just don't like it. I know that's what you kind of need to do these days, but if you get a spot, you get a spot. If you don't, you don't. Guess what? I can boondock. Guess what? I'm fully self-sustainable.
And if we decide to stop in another state on the way to Texas and stay there for any period of time, we can do that too.
Right.
So I like just having that flexibility and just rolling with it.
And that's why we got the motorhome that we got. We want small and maneuverable so we can, if we need to just stay in a campground or if we just need to stay in a Walmart parking lot, we can do either one. So we can do whatever it is that we need to do. And we'll be fine.
Yep. And we get to see other people. I know we have some people staying in Zim's Park that we're going to be saying hi to. And I look forward to that. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
Are there any gentlemen in the chat that know anything about chainsaws? I do have a question. I don't know that we have any older type gentlemen that are still running chainsaws that want to opine, but I am looking at a used chainsaw.
What if it's a woman that knows something about chainsaws?
Hey, okay. It's an older model still, and it's a 026. They're kind of a legendary in their time, and they're really good saws. They last a long time. They're easy to rebuild, and for those reasons, I'm thinking about getting one. $175. If you have any knowledge of that, just kind of list it there in the chat. Goodbye, not a goodbye. If you don't know anything, you don't have to say anything. I just want to throw that out there so I can read it later.
Okay.
Get another opinion.
It's always good to throw stuff out there and see what information you can find out.
The reason I'm looking for a secondary saw is because my electric saw is just not. It's good for trimming in smaller trees, but it struggles on those big trees. And so I need a gas-powered saw. And I think if I put enough into an older saw that's reliable and not hard to rebuild like a lot of these newer saws are, then I think I can then resell it for just what I paid for it after I'm finished with it. Yeah.
You just got to use it slow and steady.
Yeah. So that's the idea. I want to cut a few more trees than I thought I was going to cut. And then I want to buck them up and possibly burn them. And I might convert the gas here to a wood stove. I can put it back and forth pretty easily. The gas insert it just pulls out, and there's some rocks in there. You just scoop them out, put them in a bucket, and then it's not tied to a gas tank outside. It's an inside gas tank. It's just a 30-pound propane line inside the cabin, so it can be easily unhooked and pulled out, and I can switch it from wood to gas, like that. So I wanted to maybe try to get rid of some of this downed trees and new trees and do something with this wood. That's,
Celeste says, I can't wait to see the meeting. I'm waiting to see if Don the Con will disrupt and hijack the whole thing. You think he'll come give me a hug?
He might. You should go, Don!
I missed you.
I bet he won't. I bet he can't stop smiling, though.
He was really nice to me before we were on the board together. That's what I always find so funny. And even that he solicited me to be, actually first he wanted me to be the new clerk.
Yeah.
So he wanted me to replace Mary even before Mary knew she was leaving, because he was not happy with Mary. And then it went into he wanted me to be on the board, and then when I'm on the board with him, he wanted to argue with me.
I know. It's like, what do you want, Don?
Maybe now that I'm not on the board, he'll like me again.
Yeah, maybe. You should come back and get on the board. Not gonna happen.
But like I said, I'm not there to cause any kind of ruckus with anybody. I have no bad anything for anybody.
What we did this week, something we forgot to write down.
What?
We went to a town hall meeting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
There's not much to report.
This guy, he wanted to go so badly to our town hall meeting here. And I'm like, I personally have zero interest.
So I did.
Zero interest. So I said, but for you, I'll go. This will be your Christmas present, sir. So I went with him and I said, but here are the conditions. I said, I do not want you saying anything about Otter Creek or anything about me to the people. When we get there, just be quiet and just observe. Anybody want to guess if he did that?
Yes. People want to guess.
Okay. So who out there thinks that Brett was quiet? So far, I don't see anybody who thought you were quiet.
Yeah, probably not.
Nancy says no.
So
everybody says no.
The meeting went.
Donald says me.
Nobody says no. Wow, they don't give me much credit, do they? So
he tried.
I summarized the meeting. It's a little different. The board members, they still have a mayor and a vice mayor. I think the vice mayor has a bigger say because he had him opine numerous times. But anyway, they have their council members are called aldermans. Some states do that. There's the first state I've been to that does that. I don't know what the real difference is. I didn't ask those questions. I can look that up later. So the council members are known as aldermans. They also didn't call it a town hall meeting. They called it a board meeting. And they didn't hold it at City Hall right next door. They held it at the police station.
Maybe that's if there's somebody disruptive, they can just take them in right there. You don't have very far to go.
And there was maybe 10 people there, and half of them were cops. So
no problems happened that night.
Ain't no problems happening there. The police chief, they have 3 departments. They have a water department. That sounds familiar, right? Mm-hmm. They have a police department. Oh, that's something new. And they have a fire department. Oh, there's something new. And that's it. That's their 3 departments. It's a small town, but it is bigger than Otter Creek. We do not live in the town. We don't live in the downtown proper portion of the town. We live in
We're in the outskirts.
We're in the county, but our mail comes from the town. So we are technically still in that town, but we are not adjudicated by that town. So if we were to get permits for any reason, then we'd have to go to the county. We are in the county. So we do have fire protection, police protection from the county. We do. And we do not pay the city tax. We pay the county tax.
But Brett loves town hall meetings so much, he just wanted to go anyway.
Well, I liked some of the differences.
It was nice to see in that meeting especially because I enjoy when everybody gets along and they are productive, to see exactly how much can be accomplished under those circumstances. And I noted that it was a very good board.
Mhm.
They were all getting along and going
Respectful
ahead
and
with the right things. Even when there was a disagreement, they state what their opposition is and move on.
yeah.
And it was very wonderful to see that and to know that that's what's going on in the community around you. It was also important, I think, to have heard the different reports from the police and the fire
Mhm.
station.
That was neat.
So I enjoyed that aspect of it.
They gave how many fire calls they went on, how many man hours were used. These are all statistical
They gave out
information
all that
that
information.
the mayor can use to compare to see the trends and what's needed. So that's important. That's good.
It also lets you know a few things about the state of our world and
Mhm.
how they are having problems finding people to be on the police and the fire department are having problems getting people for the job. And if the small towns are having these problems, the large cities are also having these problems, which equates to higher response times, which equates
talked
to
about that.
lives being lost.
Yep. Their
So-
ambulance service was actually, their ambulance information was being reported by not the fire chief like you would think. You would think the ambulance would fall under the fire department. It was the police actually reported the ambulance service, the response times, and they had a gentleman with a heart attack with a 12-minute response time, and they said that's not good. I don't remember if that guy actually lived or not, but they wanted to address that and find out why that was.
But it's
So
pretty
him-
serious to hear those statistics.
But the mayor's response was, I think you and I, the chief of police, and the mayor, I think we should go attend that next ambulatory meeting they're talking about.
Yeah, so you saw
So,
that the
involved.
mayor was
Yes.
very involved.
Mhm.
And even when they were talking about the new trash pickup machine,
Oh,
the
yeah.
mayor was like, oh, well, I want to go work that one day and
Yeah.
try out the truck. So he's very involved, it was just a very good thing to see. I love seeing that, but it's also important just to know the statistics again about the police and the fire.
Their biggest, I'd say a good third of their meeting, though, was talking about speed cameras in a school zone. Apparently, the residents, here's the two-sided coin with that. The residents around this one school, it's a pretty big elementary school, and it's got a road, of course, in front of it, but it's a well-traveled road. It's a thoroughfare road. And 15 miles an hour when the lights are flashing. It's not a very long school zone, so I don't see what the big uproar is. But some of the residents wanted to slow traffic down, and I get it because you could go fast on that road. But then when they got a ticket, they complained about it. So the tickets, though, they said were $50 speeding in a school zone if it wasn't way over. And you don't get points off your license. You just pay the fine through the mail and it's done. There's no points on your license, and there's
like a
doesn't go
standard
on your record.
fee.
Yeah. But if a police officer pulls you in a school zone, then you get points and it goes on your record.
And it's
more
money.
It's
They
like
were saying like
$200.
$200
Yeah.
instead of $50.
So I don't know what they were complaining about.
Their complaint was that they were getting a ticket from a camera. So they'd call in and they said, well, were you speeding? Yes.
Yep.
So why am I getting a ticket when a camera saw me? Like, they shouldn't have been getting a ticket unless there was an actual cop there, which, to their detriment would have been more money and more repercussions.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was kind of funny to hear that argument.
Yeah, even the board members were like shaking their head going like this, like I am now. They're like, what?
The only huge problem I had hearing about that whole camera situation was that whatever the company is that was putting in these cameras, they're the ones collecting all the revenue.
Yeah, the town wasn't making any money
off these tickets, and the town's not getting anything. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a bad negotiated deal there.
So that was the huge problem I had with it.
Yeah, that was the thing. The town should have been making some money from it to help compensate the money that you pay to police. You got to get that money back. And they do that by creating revenue by issuing tickets. it'd be a parking ticket or a speeding ticket, or, that's how a town can raise money.
So they did have public comment, which I
Mhm.
forget, they call it something else.
Oh yeah, they call it citizens. They call it citizens.
Of course, Brett got up
Citizens.
there
Oh, this must be public comment.
and spoke to them and introduced himself and all that good jazz. But he started to go into the Otter Creek story a little bit. So I told him his 2 minutes were up and he needed to sit down. But
Yeah,
it's all
so-
good. It was his Christmas present, and hopefully that means we don't have to go to any more of those
and
meetings,
one
because it
more
looks like
point.
they've got it under control.
Yeah, they're good people. I think they're doing the right thing for the
Yes.
town for sure. One thing I found an oddity: the police hired a gentleman, but he hasn't yet been through the training. I thought that weird, because I know in Alaska, I was looking at that, and you have to go through the training first. It was 16 weeks down in Sitka, and then you go on a list. You might be on that list for a year and a half until your number comes up.
Well, it might be now because it's so hard to find people to do the job.
Yeah,
that
maybe it's changed.
they're doing things different. Now, Brett did ask him, so what does happen if he doesn't pass the training? And the mayor said, well, then he's fired.
Well, then you never should have hired him.
But it was great to see they voted on hiring him during the meeting, and they
swore
him in. So I'm sure he'll be a fine addition to their team. That was very exciting to see, at least.
In this small town, it's not going to be a very challenging duty assignment. Like if he was being thrown in Chicago or, Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure that's comparing apples and oranges.
Right.
That's why I said if they're having such a hard time filling positions in a rural town, I could only imagine a big city, because that's a lot more risk going on. So it's probably very hard to find people.
This is almost like Mayberry. They have a post office, a fire station, and one restaurant. And then their biggest thing, though, is the school. So that's really all they got going on, but that's good.
For your little soapbox.
We are. You guys ready for the soapbox segment? We're going to fire this grill up. It's the soapbox segment. All right. What's our soapbox for today?
I don't know.
Let's
see what it's about. Might have to cut you off in 2 minutes.
Yeah, we might have to make this shorter than it probably would go. We're going to call this segment Objectivity. All right. You're like, objectivity. Yes, if you are an objective person, now this is going to go back to the lawsuits that we got going on. Well, all the lawsuits that are going on, whether they're ours or otherwise. If you're an objective person, let's say you're a judge and you get the case, and you have Jeremy Hales versus Lynette Jeremy Hales, however, in front of you, and you don't know anything about what's going on with these other angry YouTubers, and so you have good versus evil, and it seems like everybody picks a side. Let's say you don't know any of the characters. Objectivity. You're a judge. You got a case. This case comes to you. Let's say you're sitting in Pensacola, apparently is where this case is going. You don't know anything about this case. So it's in front of you. And you look at just the facts. Just the facts. Not hearsay, not gossip, just the facts.
Wasn't that Dragnet? Just the facts. Anyway,
what would you ascertain? There was a huge mic drop. There's been little pieces of information all along, and there's always been evidence. But there was a huge mic drop by Jeremy. And was it the last video or video before? Was it yesterday's video? It's audio proof coming from Shara. If you don't know anything about it and you hear this and you're like, wow, this lady's unhinged, who is it? If you just look at facts, how can you not decide or make a decision or decide to find out more information and be on the wrong side? How? I don't get it. So objectivity, my soapbox, I'm going to wrap it up kind of short. I just want to say that be objective. When there's a story or there's breaking news on a channel, be objective. You can listen to it, but look at the proof. Read the proof. Read the dockets. Read the when you got this town, it's really bad. You got police not doing anything. You got a DA who won't prosecute when he definitely has prosecutable stuff in front of him and he doesn't take action. You have a corrupt judge that has admitted it even to himself because he took our case and took himself off of it because he knows he's prejudicial and biased. I mean, these are evidence. Stuff you find on docket, evidence. If you see all these things happening, what does that tell you about that area? Something's wrong. You have like a police force that's being paid by the taxpayers and they're not doing their job. That's fact. You have a judge taking himself off a case. What does that tell you? That's fact. You have, all these things, not just one thing. I'm just pointing out the obvious things that come to mind. But when you listen to audio tape, you read transcripts, not just hearsay on another YouTube channel, but you look at the facts. How can you lie any other way? But man, this needs to stop. Some judge needs to jump on this and be like, okay, give me the facts. I want to hear both sides one time, and then I'm going to render my decision, and I don't want to hear no more. That's it. And this should be over. This should be quick. It should be done. It should be over. And just objectivity. Be objective. Make sure you're looking at the facts. When you go and watch the news, do you have a certain news platform that you listen to? Why did you pick that one? Because you trust them, because you like the characters, or because you're hoping to hear the facts? Just ask yourself those questions. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just saying be objective. So
my
soapbox.
My huge part about that whole thing is I find it.
And a lot of your text messages from 2 years ago match up to the audio file.
See, I live there.
That's collaboration.
And I know.
That's fact.
I know how it was.
We know all the characters.
How it is because I live there and I lived through things that nobody knew about. We didn't broadcast those things as they were happening, and it went on for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. What I can't understand is that people are jumping on this crazy bandwagon because they don't like somebody. That to me is insane in itself. I just do not understand it. What's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. And that's all there is to it. So that's what floors me about the whole situation. And I'm not going to go into deep because we do not have time for that today.
Yeah.
But if you live there and you had to go through these different things, you would know.
These are real people's lives.
They are real people's lives, and it is serious. And the anxiety it causes, I know I am in so much more of a better place now mentally than when I was in Otter Creek because of having to experience all those things. Mm-hmm. And it also, I'm better off even physically because when you are going through all this anxiety, it spills over into your health and all your relationships and everything. So I thank God every day that I do not have to live there and go through this anymore. But I pray for everyone who does. It's very serious. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to when it will all end. But it is a serious battle with good and evil. And I pray constantly, daily, all throughout the day over this situation. And I appreciate everybody continuing to pray for everybody involved because it is serious and there's serious matters and there's poor innocent people being affected on a daily basis. And it's dangerous for a lot of people.
And there's a lot of things we haven't spoke to, and whether we do or whether we don't doesn't really matter. But I know Jeremy made a little portion about Robbie, And Robbie on Get Swamped, I think was the name of his little thing there for a while, but what has been said about him is factual. When Jeremy went to help him, we were with him. We went with him, and he was literally helping him. I've never seen he didn't help us to the extent that he was helping Robbie set up his channel, get his name, get monetized. Here's what you do. Here's how you do that. You should focus on. I mean, he gave him step by step.
Ooh, I see that mail truck rolling in.
She's trying to cut me off, but
because you're out of time.
yes,
your 2 minutes is up now, sir.
look at the facts. That's all I'm saying. Look at the facts. The facts will present themselves over and over and over and over. Okay, end of soapbox. We have mail.
The mail truck is trucking in.
The mail truck's trucking in.
And just real quick, I'd also like to tell you that it is the holiday time, and your mail carriers and
Oh yes,
UPS and FedEx, all your delivery people are
hug
working.
your mail carriers.
Don't hug them. Just be graceful with them. Give them snacks and drinks, and don't be upset when it's so late. They're working hard. They're working in the dark. It's dangerous. Please leave your lights on for them. Please put your dogs away. And just keep an eye out for them and give them grace. They are going through a lot of stuff, and appreciate them. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Our first piece of mail comes from Jason up in North Pole, Alaska.
Thank you, Jason.
Look at this box.
It went through some heck.
Now,
It got beat.
We've
up.
already opened it, but I just wanted to show you this box. It got beat up.
Now, for as bad as the box looks, the contents were perfect. I was a little worried when I first saw it. So the contents inside were perfect. Thank you, mail carriers. You got it here. You got it here.
If you don't think they throw the mail, they throw the mail.
So it did get here. It got here in great shape.
Do they throw the mail or do they not throw the mail?
Of course, they have to. They're on a time constraint.
They even call it throwing the mail. It's appropriately named throwing the mail.
What came? Listen, when I first started opening this box, I'm like, what is this? It's so heavy. And then I started peeling, and then I gasped like a little child. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I knew what it was.
Yeah, and we saw this, and we saw these.
And I wanted one so bad when we saw it when we were in Alaska.
Drop it on the computer here.
So this is one of the cool rocks that this lady paints and sells over at the market where Jason and his mom have a booth where they sew. And so she has these beautiful rocks, and you probably saw it in our video.
Rock.
If you didn't see that video, go back and see it, because she has these beautiful rocks. And when I saw this picture, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's one of the rocks, and it's this beautiful picture. And so I had to message Jason right away. I was like, oh, it's so gorgeous.
And
so
she does good work. So if you're ever up there or you want to get something made, focus.
But it's Ruth Rocks. It does not want to focus.
It doesn't want to focus.
Go back.
Let's try it again.
There you go.
There we go.
So that is Ruth Rocks, and she does fabulous stuff. So if you want to get in touch with her, there is her information. She is on Facebook, Ruth Rocks, and she does gorgeous stuff. She just has a ton of stuff. And I was like, thank you so much, Jason. That's so sweet.
That's the back of the card.
I was ecstatic, like a little kid opening a Christmas present. And it was just so thoughtful. We appreciate you so much, Jason, and we miss you. He also had gotten us that Madam Mayor Alaska tag. So just love our beautiful friends. And I was so happy that got here.
Yeah, that's very
and
beautiful.
Was not damaged, as I'm sure he was as well. So we are so thankful for you. It was beautiful, and just loved it so much. We did get another cool gift this week from Kim.
Yep, Kim Henline.
And she had got us all these cool shirts, fueled by faith, trusting God in every journey. And guess what car that is on there? It is a Camaro, my favorite. So, muscle car and God. I love some inspirational shirts.
How can you go wrong, right?
I love wearing those because not only is it a reminder to me, but it's a reminder who everybody sees your shirt about, and it makes them smile and it picks up their day as well. So thank you so much, Kim. And she sent a beautiful email just reminding us how uplifting we are to people and uplifting to her. And I had told her it's like a circle, because it's uplifting to us as well to be able to share with you guys. And then when you send me this beautiful email, it's a confirmation.
I like all the colors too.
I know, it's a confirmation of things and just looking out for each other. We're in this big family, God's family, and we got to keep lifting each other up every day. And it's beautiful.
That's a really strong message there.
Yeah. I just love all the beautiful shirts. Thank you so much, Kim. She's been a great supporter, and it's a great reminder. That one's cool too. They're all cool. It's just a great reminder to keep each other lifted up. And if that's one thing you can do, especially during the holiday season, just be uplifting to the people around you that you run into. You never know what people are going through.
These last two are sweatshirts.
Spreading smiles. That one is nice. Jesus made me a fisher of men. I can catch, he cleans. And that's an important thing for us to remember, is it's not our job to fix people. It's just our job to bring them to God so that he can work on them. I love that one too, chosen. So it's a great reminder. And like I said before, if you can't afford to do different things, you don't have to. You just smile, give hugs, just show people some love, throw compliments out. It's very uplifting. And that's what we need to do for each other during these hard times.
And people that go to church, if you're not usually that religious, don't judge those that go to church. They don't go
Donald, praying.
They don't go to church because they're perfect. They go to church because they're working on themselves and they have things to work on.
We all do.
We all do. Humans not perfect. Not one human that ever walked the earth was perfect, but one. And he's no longer walking the earth, but he will again.
And yes, like Donald said, he prays for people because that's probably the most valuable thing you could do, is pray for people. So I'm sure everybody appreciates that. Do not stop doing that. Pray for people as much as you can.
We're not asking you to give anyone a handout. It's a hand up.
Yeah,
just help people get up. You don't fish for them. You teach them to fish. Then they can fish for themselves.
Yep. Smiles are contagious.
Happy.
You change people's attitudes with the things you say and do, and that bleeds over into the next person like a domino effect.
Yeah.
So, and one day you might be the person having a bad day and somebody comes and smiles, and then you're just like, a lot of times, especially when I delivered mail, I would see little kids that would come out to the mailbox when I was having a bad day. And I just knew that God sent them out there. And it just touched my heart so much.
Yeah.
Getting all cry-eyed here, and I would just drive off and look up and be like, thank you, God. Because I knew that was for me. So
good people help each other out. That's all. If you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, then you have a promise from him with a life forever after this life. This life is not all there is. This is a very short, temporary part of your existence. The afterlife is forever. And so it's worth giving in order to get, because your reward is 10 times.
But the more you are connected with God, reading his word and just working on yourself, the more you pay attention all around you, you'll see him all around you. It's you that is the block in the connection. So he's there. Just take time to spend with him, and you'll just start seeing him all around you and the blessings. And it's just amazing. So
Pastor Joe said this morning at the service, we're not perfect. The church isn't perfect. We should be spending more time with God. And when you think about what it is he gave you, he gave you your whole existence. You wouldn't be here without him. So it's only fair to give back. That's all he's asking. He's like, invite me into your life. I will help you. How can you turn that down? What a good deal. What a good investment.
mm-hmm.
Think of it as a personal investment.
So if that's one thing I'd like to leave everybody with here today, is just to be able to start really taking a look at yourself and seeing what type of things you can do to have a closer relationship and start seeing the things around you. You know, the more giving and grateful you are, the more that's going to do some work on yourself.
And nobody's asking you, when I say do some work, do little little steps. Like if you know you cuss too much because you cuss a lot, then a couple times when you cuss, bite your tongue. Make it a little less. Make it, and then go a whole day without it. Or if your vice is drinking, just cut it down a little. You don't have to cut it out. Just be more responsible with it.
We all have vices.
Everybody has a
Some
vice.
people it's food, some people it's drink, some people it's rugs.
Money.
There's lots of money.
Drugs, pornography.
All kinds of things. So we all have something to work on. But
just work on it.
I just like to leave everybody with that. Just you'll get great reward.
Yeah, we're not perfect.
When you start doing those things. But we'd like to thank everybody. I'm closing us out.
All right.
Because
we're getting long.
We're way over time here.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you all for joining us today.
We'll be back on our regular schedule next week.
We love you guys, and we thank all our moderators. You guys are awesome,
and
you do an awesome job.
Yeah.
We really appreciate everybody, our members. Thank you so much for our subscribers. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe, hit the notifications all so that you can get notified of our videos. Hit the like button. We love you guys so much and look forward to spending more time with you later on. And next Sunday, we'll be all up in the creek.
All up in the creek.
Hanging out with y'all from the creek. And just look out for each other and take care of each other and spread some love everywhere you go.
Love is the season.
Anything
you guys
else?
Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. We love you guys. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. If so, drop me a line and let me know.
And thanks for the lovely gifts, you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for thinking of us, Kim and Jason and everybody else who has thought of us. We love you all so much.
Yep. Be nice and be good to each other. Bye, guys.
Bye.